Hi, I'm Christina Marassi of ChristinaMarassi.com, and I am known as the Heart Shot Photographer. Basically, I combine transformation work with photography to help women entrepreneurs step into and embody the heart and soul of their brand. So I'm coming to you today because Marnie Batista asked me to do a guest post for her on the Dating with Dignity blog. So I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I would love to discuss how to be powerful on a date. Now, this is important, right? Because maybe you get this date that you're so excited about, but if you don't show up in your power, then maybe it's not going to go the way you would like it to. So I would like to share some tips with you, if I may. Let me also give you a little bit of my background. I was a former fashion photographer in New York City for 6 years, and then I came out to LA and got to the healing arts. And now I'm bringing them together to really help women entrepreneurs embody. And what about this word embody? So here's the thing. Most of us are living from the neck up. And what about our bodies? We've got these amazing bodies. So it's really about, if we want to be in our full power, especially as women, we need to be getting just out of our heads and getting down into our bodies too. And that's where we become embodied. And you know that place. You know when you feel grounded, you feel anchored in who you are, and you feel solid. And that's what's going to help you on your date. So this is where I come from, and I'm also a big believer in helping all of us become even more feminine and really finding that place of feminine power, right? We all kind of grew up with a notion of power as being quite masculine, so let's all keep looking for ways to be feminine. So I have 3 tips for you how you can be powerful on a date. Would you like to hear them? Okay, so first we're going to start out with, it's about getting into the body. So the way I like to do that, I'm going to give you some suggestions, and you can find your own way with this, is I like to start by shaking. So I'm just going to kind of shake a little bit in my body, and really gets me out of my head, right? And just sort of like shakes things off, shakes off the day. And then what's even better is to get down into your hips. So if you even just kind of like get nice and solid in your legs, you're bending them, you're feeling anchored and grounded into the earth, and you're just going to kind of like look around a little bit and discover and explore what's going on in your hips. Now, here's the thing. So if you come a little bit closer, I just want to be able to share this. A woman's power is in her hips. This is where potency lives. And so we really need to be remembering that we have bodies and to get down into our hips. So you want to check that out. And you also want to let it be pleasurable. So maybe you're looking around for little nooks and crannies and look for where it feels good. Because I believe nothing is more powerful than a woman in her pleasure. So you really want to find a way to kind of get into your body before your date so that you're going to show up not as a talking head, but someone deeply embodied. And I'm telling you, men really respond to a woman when she's in her body, when she's feeling good, and when she's feeling her own pleasure. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, we're going to take the movement a little bit further, and then what I recommend is that you put on your favorite music and you dance like crazy. Because here's the thing, we normally are walking through our lives doing very organized things. We're picking up the phone, we're typing on the computer. We need to loosen up and get outside of that, and that's where all of our goodness and our creativity lie, right? So find your favorite song and dance like crazy. We've got a little music here. I'll just give a little demonstration. So cue the music and we'll do a little dancing and put it up nice and loud. So just gonna dance a little and make sure you really let loose. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I already feel looser, do you? So you definitely want to check that out. So that was tip number 2. So tip number 3, now this is an interesting one, and I have to tell you I'm even slightly nervous to bring this up, but someone suggested it to me a couple of weeks ago. I went to an event that had a Tantra teacher there, and she made this suggestion that I thought was brilliant. So I'm hoping you can handle this. But basically, what she told us to do was to relax and soften our vaginas. And I kid you not, it changed a lot in the way I was being in my body. So it was sort of a 2-step process. She said to soften our vaginas and then also to soften the back of the tongue. So I'm just doing that right now. And basically, it really feels like it even changes the way I'm in my body, the way I carry myself. And so I've been playing around with that since this class, and I find it really helps, especially if I'm in my business day and I'm getting sort of crunched and a little masculine about everything, is to just soften and to really bring my awareness to my genitals and my place of potency in my hips. And so I have found that has really helped. So those are some interesting tips for you to show up and how to be powerful on a date. Number one was to do some movement and some shaking and like getting down into your hips and finding places of pleasure. Number two was put on a really fun song and let loose like crazy. And number three was become aware of your own sexuality and sensuality and really softening. And you can soften any place in your body. But I have found, I know I hold a lot of tension. I was surprised, actually. Let me put it that way. I didn't know how much tension I was holding in my vagina. And now I do, so I'm really bringing an awareness there. So if you do those three things, you will show up and be powerful on your date. And I bet it will be a whole different experience. The man's not going to know exactly what's going on, but he's going to know he's in the presence of a woman who's in her power, who's in her body, and is a force to be reckoned with. So that's how I would like to show up on a date. I hope you would too. This is Christina Marassi of ChristinaMarassi.com. I'd love to hear from you, how you feel about this, and see if you try them out and what you learn. And thanks for having me, Marnie. Take care.